All right, this is a good video. This one is going to show you where dye does not find a leak, where nitrogen did find a leak, where refrigerant does not find a leak. So let's get, did I turn on the light? Yeah, good. So from the previous videos, you could see all the bubbles that were coming up. The ultrasonic leak detector with nitrogen found it right there. Basically barely. If I didn't know where it was and I stuck it right on the leak. Now let me get in the general vicinity. Let's let it clear out a little bit. See, infrared technology takes a little bit. You got to clear it out to the background. Okay, we're in background. So let's stick it down there again, right on the leak, right at that fitting. It's right on top of the fitting. Come on. There we go, one. And I'm stuck right on top of the leak where the bubbles were coming out. But didn't before we seen a whole bunch of bubbles coming out of there? So why am I not picking it up now? I'm leaving it off there. Okay, so that is a Stratus. And remember, I changed this sensor in here about 3 weeks ago. So it's a brand new sensor. And I made a video on calibration using the calibration bottles, so you know it's working. Now let's break out the UV light. See the glow? See the glow? You can see inside there the little bit of glow in there. Let's get right down on that fitting. Where are we again? There we go. So this is, let me see if I could zero in. That fitting, not that fitting, the one behind it down below, right where the rubber meets the metal. Bubbles were coming out of there. It was literally bubbling out of there. And there is no UV dye. I ran this for about 10 minutes with UV dye on it. And that was literally bubbling with nitrogen, and the ultrasonic leak detector picked it up. Right now, if I use the ultrasonic leak detector, it would pick up nothing. I could tell you that with experience. Why? Because it's basically not leaking right now. So this is a scenario where UV dye does not work, at least right now. The customer can drive away and a day later it could start leaking. But right now it's not leaking in the shop under these conditions. Right now, you cannot use the refrigerant leak detector on it. But while it was cold, using high pressure dry nitrogen, it found it right away. And using the ultrasonic leak detector, you've seen in my video where I got the ultrasonic leak detector, just moving it around, it could pick it up from this part far away. When I put the ultrasonic leak detector right here, and when I placed it right here, from about 14 inches away, I could pick up the leak, and I knew the general vicinity of the leak. And then when I used the bubbles, you can actually pinpoint it and see exactly where it was coming out of. But after I filled it up with refrigerant and I ran it, the metal got hot, the rubber got hot, high pressure, hot refrigerant instantly hit that fitting, metal expands, rubber gets a little softer, there was already an oil film inside there, it seals up and it stops leaking. This is why these old Yahoo hacks who are old dinosaurs have been doing it for 20 or 30 years, and they say, oh man, I use UV dye and UV dye finds all the leaks. That is bullshit. It does not find all the leaks all the time. It is just one method of finding leaks when it leaks only under those conditions. Using a refrigerant leak detector is usually your best method, but under this condition, this will not find that leak. Now, this will find that leak in a few days, most likely. But right now, while it's in the shop, it won't find it. Only the nitrogen found the leak using the ultrasonic leak detector while it was cold, being off. That was it. Okay, so that's it for this video. It's showing you one method of leak detection. Maybe even under cold, I would have to switch over to a hydrogen leak detector or a helium leak detector using a hydrogen leak detector with hydrogen, or helium with a helium leak detector. This is for refrigerant, this is a refrigerant leak detector. So different leak detectors under different methods will find different leaks at different times. And this is what most owner shops without experience don't understand, service writers, service managers, because they have no clue, no knowledge, no experience, no training, and they don't send their guys for training. If you send your guys to places like MACS, you would learn these kind of things, but most owners of shops are too cheap, or they intentionally stay ignorant by being cheap, or they're just lazy, or they're the kind of owners who are afraid to lose their technicians as soon as they learn something. You do not lose technicians unless you're causing a problem in the shop to lose them in the first time. In a good place, they stay around for years. That's up to the owner. Now, if the owner selects technicians who are not a good fit and he keeps them, that's the owner's problem. Look in the mirror every morning, and that's your fault. It's you who are the one are responsible for training your technicians when you intentionally go out of your way hiring technicians who are underskilled and maybe not ready yet. You're supposed to train them. If you don't train them and you have problems, look in the mirror, there lies your problem. All right, I'll see you guys.